Hello, welcome to CLSP Politics. Sean Briscoe speaking. So we're doing Georgia, May 19th, 2026 primary. So Georgia's always an interesting race, state, no matter how you look at it. It's been dynamic. It's gone for, it's got Democratic senators. It went for Trump last cycle. It's gone all over the place. It's just a very dynamic state. It's got IT, it's got agriculture, it's got some of the issues that blue states have, some of the issues that red states have. Atlanta is a huge city, one of the largest in the country, has multiple headquarters for large corporations. It's just a really interesting and dynamic state. And I'll be honest, one of the more interesting ones that the Democrats and Republicans are always trying to figure out how to kind of get into. So what does the state really look like? Well, it's got a ton of congressional districts, which is fun. You can see the smaller ones that are joined up there in the northern kind of central part. That's Atlanta. And then you've got 7 and 11 over there, which are just north of that. And those are kind of like the extended suburbs and into rural Georgia as far as Atlanta goes. It's kind of interesting. When you look at what's blue and what's red, well, needless to say, Atlanta, very, very blue. 2 is kind of on a swing. It can go either way. And that's kind of the areas, and 1 and 12 are also kind of in those areas where the Democrats have made movement. They've actually picked up votes, and the GOP's lost votes. So when you look at the Democratic breakdown of the district, you can see that what they've done here as far as gerrymandering goes is they've kind of ghettoized the vote a good bit. They've isolated Atlanta into its own little bubble, and then to protect all of the other more red areas of the district from those blue votes. So what you do is you get a bunch of seats that are crazy Democrat, 80%. Like their May primary is their general election. For that seat, it's done. But then you've got a district. You've got the areas that are kind of that central core that goes right through the center of Georgia that are definitely, getting bluer. And it's definitely something to look at. When you look at as far as racial breakdown goes, the Republicans really do rely on that northern part of Georgia. In 2020, I remember them looking at some of those counties up there going, well, I don't know where the voters are, but they're not there, and we need them to turn out. They need those counties to turn out at 102% in order for them to make Georgia red and to win those Senate seats, and they just weren't seeing that. So that's the area where I think you're seeing populations dropping, people leaving those rural counties looking for work, stuff like that, and then the rest of, the vast majority of Georgia is a real mixed bag. Pockets of, different ethnic groups kind of spread out all over. So it's like I said, dynamic state, very dynamic, and definitely, going to be on everyone's map for a very long time. Real quick, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. You can check me out on my website if you're looking for a speaker to talk to your group about politics or what have you. I'm on YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and Substack. All right. So what does the primary really look like? Kind of go race by race a little bit here. So excuse my graphics department. They made a small error on this graph right there at the bottom. That 69 is supposed to be red. My bad, because I am the graphics department. But anyway, as you can see, like I said, those districts that are right there in the middle are just 77% blue. Their primary is, and on the 13th, that primary is the general. Now, the second congressional district is probably the most interesting one here. out of all of these, although the 12th is kind of interesting as well. And the first, depending on, how badly the Republicans overreach and implode the government. But when you look at, like, I like to look at, FEC filings, who's actually filed to run for the seat even before the FEC filings. And District 1 is kind of an interesting one. So going back real quick, that's the one that's 4157, right? Tons of Democrats and tons of Republicans have filed for this seat. It's, I guess it's got like the Georgia side of Savannah. It's got Jacksonville, St. Mons. It's got a bunch of towns in it that are kind of good size. But just about everybody and their grandma's running for this seat. So there's something going on here. Now, when you look at the money, Patrick Farwell by far has raised the most of all the Republicans. And to be honest, the Democrats have not raised much as of when I did, put this video together as of yet. But like I said, this is all early money. So just sometimes Democrats take a little minute to figure out their finance. So I imagine when I come back, and this will be one of the seats I come back to because it's just too many people running for this seat. I'm going to take a look and see what the new FEC filings look like in December. So District 2, Albany, anyway, interesting. Democrat, Sanford Bishop's there. He's got Danny Glover as a primary opponent. When you look at the money, I think Bishop's going to be there. The Republican hadn't even filed an FEC report yet. So I feel like 2 is going to be a held Democratic seat. No worries. 4, which is around Georgia. This is where it gets kind of interesting. So I'm looking at these races around Atlanta. And these are all going to be blue districts, right? So you've got Hank Johnson, who's the incumbent Democratic Party candidate. And then you've got 2 other Democrats that are primarying him. And when you look at the money, Hank Johnson only's got $126,000. Now, I know he only has to run a primary, but I mean, if you could raise some money, you could give Hank Johnson a real run for his money. Definitely worth a look at. And then you've got Congressional District 5, also kind of an interesting race. This is all the money I could find that's been raised for the 5th district so far. Very low. So anyway, those are just some really interesting seats that I got to go back and look at. So anyway, thank you again. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're at clsbpolitics.com. We're on YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and Substack. Going on to District 6, another one that's very Democratic. We've got no FEC filings for any of these candidates yet. No early money's gone in. They only really have a primary. So another one I got to come back to. Georgia's going to be a double take for sure, because I'm curious to see what these numbers will look like after the December filing. District 8, another one. A lot of Democrats running against the incumbent, even Republicans running against the incumbent in this state. When I looked up the money, the incumbent Republican sitting on $1 million. I don't think he's going anywhere. And I could barely find any real cash on hand for either of the 2 candidates. $20 and $138 ain't going to cut it. So then District 9, kind of an interesting race. Lots Republican, of course, Andrew Clyde. But he's being primaried by 2 other Republicans. One of which has actually raised more money than Andrew Clyde. He's got more money cash on hand than Andrew Clyde. So I think we have a contested Republican primary here. So that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. Now you also have a Democrat in the mix who, while these 2 are beating each other up and spending money, he's going to be able to raise, Nick will be able to raise money. Just super important. In a district like this, you got a heavy lift anyway. Doesn't help if you've got a Republican sitting out there that had an easy coast through the primary and can sit on $1 million. This is a good scenario if Nick can raise enough money for this seat. So anyway, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. You guys have been great. If you want to support this channel, you can go to my YouTube. There's a PayPal attached. If you want to become a $5 a month subscriber, I'm on Substack. You're welcome to do that. All right. Well, this has been great. We're almost through May. And from now on, it gets really, really busy in the primary in 2026. So I look forward to sharing with you guys all those seats. Talk to you later. Bye.